High School in Woodstown, New Jersey. The GCEN presents high school football. Tonight, it's the Woodstown Wolverines hosting the Gateway Gators. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Fred Swartz. A beautiful, crisp, cool evening here for high school football. It's a good one. Woodstown hosting Gateway. Gateway 3-0 on the season. Woodstown 2-1. Both of these teams have kind of penciled in this game on the season, coming off a bye week. They're ready to rock and roll. They do have one common opponent, that's Florence, and each of these teams put a pasting on the Flashes. Each team has seen success these past few years, and undoubtedly it's going to be a fantastic night.
Yeah, two of the top Group 1 teams that are around. They're going to be around come November for the playoffs. They both know each other well. They both play well. They're both program teams in which they're going to be good year after year after year.
First of all, let's talk about this Gateway football team. Josh Mason has done a tremendous job turning around this program. Of course, we were at Gateway a couple of years back when they hosted their first ever playoff game. They've come a long way. You get a sense that they are coming into this with tremendous confidence.
Yeah, we always thought as a barometer, when you can win year after year after year, you've really established yourself with the program. Even more when Mason came in, they were 5-45 before he had gotten arrived. That's just so hard to break that atmosphere. You have to credit him for building that climate and the kids for buying into the program.
Very rarely do we talk about coaches at the top when we're doing football games, but today it's appropriate because John Adams has also done a phenomenal job here at Woodstown.
Yeah, absolutely. Same type of situation. He comes in, got the kids to do exactly what he wanted them to do. He had an 11-1 season back and got to the finals against Haddonfield. They've just done great every year.
Josh Mason of Gateway has talked about his experience as a coach, and he said, you know, there's one player who's probably the best I've ever coached in my 20-plus years of coaching. That's Tom Getz. He does it all for this Gateway program, and he talks about his commitment both on and off the field.
Yeah, and he plays the positions you want your leader to be. He's a guard on offense. He's the middle linebacker. He's a tough kid, program kid, works hard, ultimate leader. And his dad was a coach at Triton, so I guess his genes are pretty darn good.
On the other side of the football, Malik Parsons kind of does it all also for Woodstown. Both sides of the football, tough defender, but we're going to see a fantastic runner. Was a fullback last year and really has plus speed.
Yeah, and again, he's another kid that can go coast to coast. He's got great speed. He's got the aggression he needs to play linebacker. Both those kids are the kids you want your best player to be.
You know, this is one of those games where it may be the last team with the football wins it all. We're excited to be here. We hope you join us for the entire game because it's going to be a good one. Stick around. Kickoff in just a moment. Welcome back to Woodstown High School, about to get underway here at Clint Ware Field. Your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week should be a good one. At the top of your screen, you see Gateway outfitted in the away white with Royal, and Woodstown in Royal and traditional orange. Those Woodies always known for the orange.
Yeah, that's for sure. There used to be, I think it was sweat orange and bleed blue for a lot of years that came through. I'll tell you, Rob, this is almost like a playoff game atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. We're right here in the press box, but we're almost on the
I love it here.
This
is
phenomenal.
Fantastic. I mean, I feel like a step back in time.
Yeah.
Press box literally just yards away from the sideline. Very spacious. People always so gracious down here in Woodstown. Just love it.
Yeah, it's a nice place to come and just a great atmosphere for the game, and I'm really excited about this too.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things that head coach Josh Mason said, we don't have much of a kicking game, but if we get ahead, we're going to see 54 kicking extra points. Well, we're going to see 54 kicking off. We mentioned him at the top. It's Tom Getz, and we're underway at Woodstown High School. End-over-end kick falls to about the 15-yard line, looking for space out wide, and finally brought down at the 31-yard line, and a fine carry return by Abu Hall.
Yeah, he's one of their big play game breakers. We're going to see a very interesting offense. 2 years ago when we got to see Woodstown, they ran the flex bone, which is similar to the wing T and the wishbone. Now they've dropped back. They're really running wing T principles, but they're running the pistol, in which the quarterback will be about 4 yards off the ball.
Flex bone is connected to the wishbone, right?
That's right, or some kind of bone anyway.
First play of the game, and it's fumbled. A bad snap. Woodstown able to fall on the football, but an inauspicious beginning as the snap fallen on by Woodstown's Hudson, and Darius Hudson luckily maintains possession.
And you never wonder, both teams had a bye last week, so neither of them played a football game now for 2 weeks, where there are a little bit of nerves there. You can see it right now. It just went right by the quarterback and covered under. It's not the play you want to start your game off with.
A loss of about 10, second down, and the handoff right up the gut. Not a whole lot there.
That's our first look at number 32 for Woodstown, and that is Jamison Taylor. When the last time these two teams played, he had over 200 yards of rushing as a sophomore and has played in and out this year, so it looks like to be a big ball carrier for tonight. You can see him right now. It's just straight power running, straight up.
Third down and long for Woodstown. They're not a team that likes to throw the football. Long third downs are going to be a problem for them. And as mentioned, it's going to be a run again and cut down after a pickup of about 4 yards.
And Rob, our first really good look at Gateway's defense, which has been outstanding this year. Only has given up 1 touchdown in 3 games. And our first look at the pursuit angles of Tommy Getz right there out of his linebacker spot.
So that will force a punt, 4th down and 14. And right now, Gateway coaching staff trying to get their defensive alignment. Another bad snap handled by Batten, the punter. It's a spiral. It kicks at the 50-yard line, takes a short roll, and will be down at the 49 of Gateway. So Gateway will start their first possession in fantastic field position.
And Robbie, we have to see 2 dynamic backs for Gateway. Watch number 6, Derek Parker, and number 26, Laquan Sims. Both outstanding runners, can go the distance at any time. And watch also number 15, Austin Zagone. He's in as the quarterback. He could make a big difference in tonight's game.
Zagone is a program guy, 4 years in the program, and now heading this offense. 2 wideouts split left. High snap, Zagone hands it off, and there's Sims. Breaks a tackle into the secondary. Drives forward, stretches close to a first down. About 9 yards by Sims.
Pretty impressive opening run there by Sims, because he actually had first contact behind the line of scrimmage. Shook that off, went north and south, was able to gain 7 or 8 yards on it. You can watch it right here. Watch, he gets hit about 2 yards deep in the end zone, kept his feet, put that hand down, and then, boy, lowered the shoulders and dealt some punishment.
That illustrates some of that great strength we talked about. Phenomenal balance. Coach Mason said they had to get him a new uniform because he broke about 5 tackles against Pensgrove on his 1 touchdown run, and it was ripped to shreds. Second down. We'll call it 1. The pitch. Stretched out and thrown down. Loss of 2 yards. Big tackle made on Sims.
And there's our first look at Malik Parsons, who we talked about earlier in the game from his linebacker spot, how active he is, how aggressive he is, and how he has a nose for the football. That was a great play by Malik.
3rd down and 4, and you get a sense that this is a big, big play for this Woodstown defense. They started rough with that bad snap, and you get a sense that this crowd is just looking for something to pick up this team with. Still early, first quarter, 8:38 left, 3rd down for the Gators. Sims finds a hole, drives forward, stretches, and he's got the first down.
Boy, just 100% effort that way for Sims. A little counter off the pistol formation there run by Gateway. Sims just lowering his shoulders. You can see here following his block as well, and then just extends out at the end. You can see him reach out with his arm past the 40-yard line, and that's a first down for Gateway.
First down of the football game for either team. Again, this is going to be a game that will fly by. Each team features the run. 2 receiver set. Now 1 in motion, and we have, looks like a procedure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a false start on the offense on that situation. They were setting up to run a sweep that time to Derek Parker. But probably the pulling guard at that time just wanting to get a little early head start, and sometimes that can happen in early games with nerves. There, we can see it.
You know, both of these teams talked about the need to be disciplined, the need to mitigate mistakes.
And I think that's a big deal of saying this, of the coaches that are here.
Yep.
When they run such a disciplined program that the kids do exactly what they're supposed to do.
First down and 15. Zagone working out of the shotgun. He has 2 backs and 2 wideouts. They'll hand it off to Parker. Parker behind his blocker. You see some of the burst of Parker. Very, very quick, like a lightning bug, and he picks up about 7.
Absolutely, Robin. He also showed some power. He also showed that he can definitely deliver punishment as he runs the ball. And that's the nice thing, is you can't just key on one back at Gateway, just like the same way. Watch again. He takes a nice step, actually ran into his own blocker at that time, and then extends forward to get positive yards.
So they get back to 5 and a few more. Second down now for Gateway. Now they'll have their 2 wideouts split right with Parker and Sims in the backfield. So going under the center, quick hitter, and that's going to Sims. Look at him power his way forward. He is very impressive, and that's a first down.
Yeah, and Rob, very famous for that, is saying that's weight room right there.
Yep.
You're in there, you're lifting your weights all the time, you're getting yourself strong, that gives you your power in your legs. Look at that effort. Look at the drive that he's carrying. He carried at least 3 Woodstown ball defenders on that run.
Unofficially 4 carries, 21 yards for Sims. Remember, he was dropped for a loss during his second carry. First down and 10. Deep penetration here for the Gators. And they will reset. Schultes along with Sims. And the pitch, it's Parker. Parker cuts it back against the grain, still on his feet. And now he'll meet the Woodstown defense. Short pickup for Parker.
And that'll bring a little bit of joy to Coach Adams, because one of the keys, he said, is they can't over-pursue tonight. They have to be able to stay in their alignments and assignments and follow what they're going to do. Linebackers stayed at home, so when Parker cut back, they were right there for him.
Now this Gateway offense has really turned it on this year. High-powered.
Okay.
Speaking with John Adams, asked him, are you concerned about who scores first? Not really. We've come back a couple times in 14-point deficits, but stopping this Gateway running game, you almost get a sense if they start out strong, they're just going to be running downhill all day.
I absolutely agree.
Empty backfield and now in motion. Here's Zagone, a drop, and he's hit from behind. Stripped of the football, maintains possession, and dropped again.
Boy, great outside rush by Garrity of Woodstown. He just came down. He made the right play. You hit the quarterback from the shoulders up and bring him down. And watch again, as we can see. He drops back. Here comes Garrity on the outside. Really delivers the blow. Zagone with enough confidence to pick the ball up and able to gain a couple yards more. That's a great defensive effort by Garrity.
Third down and 12 here. Gateway getting the plays run in a little bit late. You get a sense here at the 30-yard line. This is 4-down territory for Gateway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we may see a couple doses of thunder and lightning, Parker and Sims.
Watch out for number 10, Schultes, on this particular play. They love to go to him in this situation.
Zagone, drop, throws, inside, has his man, and he loses the football. The ball is turned over, and it looks like it's going to be Woodstown football.
All right, we always say turnovers are a big part of the game, and we got to see number 1 right here, just what Woodstown needed to stop the Gators' drive. Watch it again. It's just a quick, almost like hitch pass in, and you can see as he's extending to get extra yards, that he loses the ball. And it's hard to fault the receiver there. He's trying to get as many yards again, but my friend, hold on to that ball and just wait for the next play.
Well, both teams coming off the bye. Probably a lot of adrenaline and a little bit of sloppiness to combine for this first quarter. Woodstown with the football. A little inside counter and just not a whole lot there.
Yeah, that's been the bread and butter play right now for Woodstown in their victories this year. It's a little counter trap where you set up the veer going one way and then run the counter back, pulling either a tight end or, in this tape, it's a tackle. And you can see that the trap was made very, very well. It's a great block there by Colin Updike, but good fill by Gateway's linebacker set that play down.
Hudson picks up a yard. Second down and 9. Gateway's defense still getting set. snap to the quarterback. He'll take it, and they'll pick up maybe 2.
And our viewers can watch it this time. Next time you get a chance, watch the line splits by Woodstown. Their guards are definitely split far outside. And here's just the quarterback Husser in this situation. It's like almost like a quarterback draw. He steps back and then goes through. But the center, and then there's huge line splits between the centers and the guards, and then tighter line splits between the tackle. You see him come up here, you can notice the difference between the centers and the guards.
3rd down, we'll call it 7. Husser working out of the shotgun, has a man in motion. Husser keeps, looks to throw. Husser, the southpaw, throws underneath, has a man at the 32, dancing inside, forward, and he'll have enough for the 1st down.
Well, we got a little bit of Abu Hall right there, who Coach Adams talks about as such a game-breaker player that he can play fullback, he can play the slot, he can play the running back. Watch right here, on the roll to the left-hand side, and you can now see Husser just tosses it out to Abu, and now watch what he does here. Just keeps his balance, then gets straight north and south and gets that 1st down.
12 yards on the reception. Woodstown with their first down. Husser hands off inside into the secondary, still on his feet. Finally cut down at the 45-yard line of Gateway. And there you see big Jamison Taylor.
Yeah, that's the first read on that veer option that you're going to run to the outside when he's doing it. Watch again. Husser rides him, sees the opening, the linebacker is going, and boy, I'll tell you what, Jamison just lowers the shoulders and runs. Great effort.
17 yards on the carry. 1st and 10 at the 45. Husser hands off again inside and pulling his way forward for another fine pickup. Woodstown.
And that's Abu Hall, who can play fullback and running back. And Coach Adams mentioned it's almost like a 3-headed monster. As you can see here, they can run Abu Hall, they can run Malik Parsons, and they can run Jamison. And it's just an excellent effort. It does not allow the linebackers to key on anyone.
All with a gain of 9, 2nd down and 1. Husser, and a big hit laid out by Tom Getz. Well, when you need a big stop, you go to your playmaker, Tom Getz, cutting down Woodstown's Malik Parsons.
Boy, and you hit that right on the money. He stayed home, he made the read. That was a counter. They've been so successful. Watch, here comes the counter back, and Getz just perfect form tackle, lowers the shoulder in and said, try again next time, my friend.
3rd down and 2, a minute 22 remaining now. Husser working out of the shotgun. And Jamison Taylor lays out ahead on the defense, and that will be enough for a 1st down in my estimation.
And I'll tell you what, you are right. This 1st quarter has just flown by. This continues. We might be home by 8:30. You can take a look at it again. It's just a great play inside by the defensive tackles and linebackers. Both coaches talk so highly about their offensive and defensive fronts, saying that they were some of the keys to why they've been successful.
Inside of 40 seconds remaining here. 1st down and 10. Husser. Hand off again, and great penetration. That looked like Hall. He'll pick up a nice chunk. We'll call it 6.
One of the keys to this, they put Tyreek Husser in the pistol position because he can see better. He's very, very tall. But one of the keys of the offense that Woodstown's running right now is they do run the option. When they run the option in this situation, it forces Gateway's defense to play assignment football. It takes away a lot of their aggressiveness.
Woodstown does get the playoff before the end of the quarter, and Taylor leaping over defenders, and he'll have enough for that 1st down.
Boy, now again, right off the veer, and you can see Jamison Taylor just getting that veer outside the tackle, getting as much positive yardage as he can, and that's a pretty impressive drive right now by the Wolverines.
9 yards for the 1st down, and we're going to step away. It's been a rapid 1st quarter. Your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week is scoreless. back to Woodstown, start of the second quarter. First carry from the 20, and it's Hall once again. Hall winding his way through traffic, and Woodstown is starting to find its stride.
Again, great drive, and it's been multi-dimensional, using different running backs, even a pass thrown in at one time. Everything to keep Gateway's defense, which is so outstanding, second guessing or first guessing or third guessing what's going to happen.
And this time, not a whole lot there for Malik Parsons.
Great job on the outside done by Derek Parker. Held his ground, fought off the blocker, and was then able to make the tackle. Absolutely textbook cornerback play there by Derek Parker.
Well, we mentioned the talent of Parsons, and Gateway able to shut him down thus far. Of course, we're still early, but Hall and Taylor have been the story. It's third down and 4. Husser again inside, and it looks like it's going to be Parsons, and I believe he's just shy of that first down.
Yeah, getting a little counter step coming right on back, this time bringing the tackle down as the trapper, but well played by the linebackers there for Gateway, Laquan Sims and Tommy Getz.
4th down and 1, first decision here. Adams opts to go for it. Batten is a good kicker, but instead Woodstown will go for it on 4th down. Inside, they give it to the big guy, Taylor, and he just pushes his way forward, and they'll have more than enough for the first down.
And you're right, Rob, that was all Jamison Taylor. He got hit at the initial thing, he spun like all good backs should do, and then was able to fall forward for the first down.
So Taylor with the nice pickup of 4 yards, and it's goal to go here from the 7.
Again, reminder, Gateway's only given up 1 touchdown all year. Shutouts against Florence and a shutout against Buna, and gave up 6 points to Lindenwold.
Husser keeps, and again, it's that fake counter. Driving inside and shy of the goal line. That looked to be number 11. Excuse me, the Husser keep there.
Yeah, Husser kept. It was kind of an interesting play because they faked the option one way and faked the counter coming back, and Husser keeps the ball, hoping that no one's going to pick him up at that time. Big play right here.
2nd down from the 2. Taylor pushes forward. Does he have enough? Touchdown!
Boy, great drive by Woodstown. After the little problems that they had in the first drive on the first snap, they just took the football right down the field, did everything they normally did, and scored.
So Taylor with the touchdown run at 9:03 of this second. And now Batten on to attempt the point after. Kick is up, and Batten's kick is good. Woodstown strikes first. They're up 7-0.
So Rob, you talked to both coaches about, does the first score mean anything? And both of them always give us the answer, oh no, we can always come back from everything. I think the first score is very important.
I typically do, particularly in big games, because there's always just so much anticipation, the adrenaline, and then there's always the sense of doubt.
Oh, I agree.
And you can instill that doubt into the opponent. It's worth more than 7.
I think so. I think it's 100%. I think what's interesting now, when we take a look at it, we could almost say this is like a character drive coming up for Gateway.
Agreed.
Because you want to respond to the challenge, and I know they will, but I think this will be interesting.
Of course, that whole drive started with Gateway turning the ball over on 3rd down, and as a result, Woodstown capitalized, really made it hurt. Gateway has shown the ability to drive the football, and they'll look to do the same right here.
What was her idea?
Again, good teams never usually get rattled by how things start at the beginning of the game, because it's what you do as the game progresses that becomes the most important part. So I do not expect Gateway to think anything else except we're going to get the ball, we're going to go down and play Gateway football.
9:03 remaining in this first half. And Woodstown to kick it away. The kicker's listed here as 54. We have no 54 on our roster. Gateway.
And it's probably Batten with a different number, but we'll see what we got.
High kick angled towards the right side, and that will go out of bounds.
Now they have one of three choices. Obviously, the first choice is you can take the ball where it goes. You don't want that. You can take the ball up on, I believe I think it's high school is either the 35 or the 40, or you could make them go back 5 more yards and kick again. I think Gateway will probably choose to take the ball up on the. Nope, they're going to re-kick. How about that? Very good.
They'll back them up 5 yards.
Yeah.
Try it again. Of course, we mentioned this is Clint Ware Field. The Wares are an institution here at Woodstown.
Oh, I coached against him many a year. A fabulous human being. Always liked it when we scrimmaged him because he was a farmer.
Yep.
And I would always come up to our scrimmages and he'd bring peppers and tomatoes, and we'd always have a good time.
And his brother, of course, I coached against many a time. Lee,
Woody Ball.
Yes. Loved watching him. And what was always interesting, I thought, with him is there's no need to flip a coin. He always wanted to be up first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's interesting. Loved the bench jockey, too.
He did. Always enjoyed watching him coach. High kick, this one right down the gullet, taken at the 7-yard line. Across the 20, a lot of room here, still on his feet, and pushing to about the 37-yard line, so a good return. Gateway known for their solid special teams play, and that man right there, Derek Parker, a large part of it.
I agree, and I always wondered, should he take the ball up on the 40-yard line normally, but Derek Parker's got a threat to go the distance every time he touches the ball.
Ball spotted at the 37 to start this drive. Gateway on their opening drive, as mentioned, turned the ball over. They were moving it. High formation for Zagone. 2 receivers split left and right. And right up the middle, big hole, driving Sims. And just so impressed with that young man. A big first down, a gain of about 14.
And great job up front by the offensive line of Gateway. As you can see here, they just drove off the ball and controlled the line of scrimmage, and all Sims needs is just a short break to get that thing. So we'll give you the names of those offensive linemen when we get a chance. 5
carries for 35 yards unofficially here, already in Woodstown territory. First down and 10, I formation, Zagone will hand it off, and again, right up the middle. You see just how Sims loves the battle, and this time, Woodstown ensures that it's not a big gain, but still a nice chunk, 4 yards for Sims.
And I'm impressed right off the bat with the fact that this is power football right now. This is mano a mano. Who's going to be the toughest? Watch this again. Sims just comes in hard, delivers that shoulder, and then, of course, he's met very well by the linebacker core, and Mr. Husser's in there. And for Woodstown, they're not going to make the yards be easy for Gateway.
2nd and 6. Parker stretches forward, very close to the first down.
So it's almost Mr. Outside, Mr. Inside, with Sims getting all the yards inside the tackles and Parker trying to get the yards from the tackle on the outside. Here you see it again, just a toss. He finds the hole, gives a nice juke to the outside, and then lowers his shoulder, goes ahead for 5 yards. A lot of hitting going on out there.
They give him the first down, 1st and 10. Sims, that quick burst. And nice run once again, about 7.
So anybody who had any doubts of how Gateway would respond after giving up an early touchdown to Woodstown, seeing again, watch Sims, he breaks it. That was supposed to happen inside. He took it outside, was able to gain at least 7 yards on the play.
Inside of 7 minutes remaining in this half, Woodstown striking first on a Taylor touchdown run. Now once again it's Gateway moving the football. 2nd down and 3, and Woodstown doesn't like the set. So Coach Adams will have a talk with them. I mentioned before the game when we were talking a little Group 1 football. You thought that Willingboro may be the team to beat.
I'll tell you what, right now, and they play a pretty good schedule. They play Camden, they play Wilson, they play all the teams that West Deptford, I believe, I think their only loss of the season. They're very, very experienced. They have good Steve Everett's a very, very good coach up there, and he's really developed that program. He's done a great job with that program. And he's brought tremendous discipline to the program.
Yep.
I got to see Pensgrove. Pensgrove has fabulous athletes. Nasir Robinson is an outstanding running back. They just beat Riverdale, who's a Group 3 North school that wins almost every year, and they beat them 42-6 or whatever.
Wow.
Paulsboro is going to be very, very good again. Both these teams are going to be in the hunt. I think it's kind of interesting what Coach Mason said. This is very unusual where Group 1 teams can maybe play with the Group 3 and the Group 4 teams.
Yeah. The Group 1 should be wide open this year. There will be some surprises in the playoffs.
And it's going to being all the way up to now past the sectionals. It's now a regional championship this year. So that'll be very interesting too.
6:45 left, 2nd down and 3. Zagone hands off inside and pulling his way forward. More than enough for the 1st down.
And that's just all just quickness and setting up the fact that all you need your lineman to do is just to make an initial block, hold it long enough for your running back to get through that small crease as it might be, and he's going to get positive yards.
Ball spotted at the 28. Remember, this drive began at the Gateway 38. Out of the eye. Zagone hands, it's Parker. Parker with that quick burst. And cut down after a gain of about 5.
This is where the yards start to get a little more difficult because the field starts to get smaller and smaller, meaning that the safeties and the corners come up a bit. And Gateway has a really, really good weapon in number 10, Jake Schultes. Great hands as a tight end. Watch the blocking, though. Watch the blocking up front. Watch how they fire off the ball. They stay low. That's all sled work right there, guys. That you just drive, hit and drive, and try to knock your defender back.
Inside of 5:30 left, 2nd down and 6. Zagone, hands at Sims. Sims pushing his way forward, and he'll have more than enough for the 1st down, picking up 8.
Now, we're not there yet, but it's interesting to notice when we talked to Coach Mason before, we asked him about his PAT and conversion thing, and he turned to us and said, we go for 2.
That's right. And that will maybe be the determiner of who wins this football game.
That's very interesting, that's for sure.
1st down and 10. Deep inside Woodstown territory at the 16-yard line, inside of 5 minutes left now. Zagone pitches. It's Parker. Parker cuts it back inside. Parker angles. Parker touchdown.
Oh, great run. But when you get a chance, that we have the replay for this, watch the block thrown by the lead back, Laquan Sims. He kicks the corner out, just leaves everything open for Parker to get to the end zone. But great drive there by the Gators as they respond to the adversity of giving up the touchdown with a touchdown of their own.
And again, they're going to go for 2. 4:44 left after the 16-yard run. Again, Zagone with the eye. He'll roll to his right. Zagone with time, throws, has a man wide open. Did he make it? Yes. Conversion is good.
So very interesting play call at that time, which was actually a boot pass in which the fullback comes right through the line of scrimmage like he's going to run the ball and then cuts back to the right side of the end zone. Was wide open. It was just the question of whether he was going to be in or not. But a great drive by Gateway. They respond. Now it's back to Woodstown. Let's give you the ball. See what you can do.
Let's take a look at their scoring. See, he was in the end zone, and
And that's all it takes.
To make sure that ball was over the line, it was.
Yeah.
And Gateway takes the 8-7 lead.
And credit the officials, because the official was right there where he was supposed to be to make the call. Just so we can tell you who they are today. Our referee is Scott Campbell. Our umpire is the legendary Jim Puderback. Our line judge is Mr. Jerry Parry. The line judge is Mr. Dennis Jablonski. The back judge, Mr. Mike Walcott. The side judge, Ray Brown. And the clock operator, Mark Finelli. Here's the touchdown. There's that block right outside by Laquan Sims. Just knocks the corner out. There's nobody to force the run, and it's touchdown, Derek Parker.
Gateway takes their first lead of the game, 8-7, 4:44 left in this second quarter. Game has gone quickly as expected. Two teams that feature the run. Getz will kick it away for the Gators. As you mentioned, these teams faced a common opponent, and Lawrence got flattened in each. Taken at about the 20-yard line, still on his feet. Across the 35 and cut down at the 40-yard line is Abu Hall.
You know, always dangerous in that particular situation, but so far we've seen why these teams are the way they are and the quality that they are. Both of them, after initial situations in which things didn't go exactly well for them, they come back with long touchdown drives. So we'll see. This is drive number 3 for Woodstown. Let's see what happens this time.
Husser has thrown once for 12 yards. They'll start with the handoff. Look at him weaving in and out of defenders. Fine run once again. We see how talented Hall is.
Yeah, he's really, his quickness, he's got quick feet, and he's got good agility on that situation. The ability to take a play that isn't going to go anywhere and turn it into positive yardage. Here it is again. Just watch his feet. Watch the feet work, footwork. Just excellent effort. Good pursuing there by Gateway to keep it from going anything worse.
Driving forward once again is Parsons. He'll be close to the first down, just shy.
You know, another thing that we're looking at here, when you have 3 backs that can run the football like they have, it keeps the backs relatively healthy because they're not touching the ball 45 times a game or whatever. So both Jamison Taylor and Malik Parsons and Abu Hall can both all run the ball and do what you need to do.
3rd down and 1 inside of 3:30 now. This is where they like to feature Taylor. It's Hall in the backfield. Husser fakes the handoff and out. Stretching it out, cutting, diving, and depending on the spot, we'll see whether or not he gets a spot that is favorable. Parsons looks like he's going to be just shy.
And if you want textbook corner play, all he had to do was look at Derek Parker on that. He held his ground. He forced the runner back to the inside, and support is coming in from the inside, and that's why that play was not able to gain the yardage maybe that's needed for the first down.
A little surprised they went wide on that play.
Me too. I would have used that big fullback, and just because they've been getting positive yardage every time they've done that.
Yeah, they've gotten a good push from the line.
But I guess if he had gone the distance, who knows? Our first big measurement of the day, and looks like it's going to be short.
So about the length of a football, and Coach Adams has his first decision of the night.
And I think my decision for the night is, if you have confidence in your offense, here we go. Bring in that number 32 and let him go straight forward and get a first down.
Well, we know Gateway has a vaunted offense, and sometimes your best defense is your offense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Off the football field.
That's very well put. Very, very well put. You know, it's always been said sometimes if you have a good ball control offense, you're never out of games.
Yep.
Because you can monopolize the clock. Well, our answer is made. The offense is on the field.
2:52. The clock will restart here.
So mark this one down, even though it's early, as a critical play.
Ball spotted just inside the Woodstown 49-yard line. Husser is over center. And he'll drive forward. He'll have more than enough for the first down. They'll spot it at the 50.
Yeah, good safe play that time. He's also good down at the goal line in the situation. No risk for a fumble. No risk for a breakthrough and a loss in the backfield. Just tell your quarterback when he gets the ball, look for the first opening you can get and get that first down.
Clock continues to run inside of 2:30 remaining in this first half. 1st and 10 at midfield. Husser. And it looks like Adams and the Woodies are going to want a timeout here and talk about it.
So now comes an interesting situation because the clock starts to come into play for halftime.
Yep.
So as much as your offense is methodically just moved down the field with run after run after run, now you have to add in the fact that you only got 2:30 to go, and he's used 2 timeouts.
Correct.
So he only has 1 timeout remaining in that particular situation, which can change your strategy.
Yeah, a little surprised he used the timeout there for that very reason. Again, you know, with only 2 timeouts left and a team that features the run, they're going to need those. But obviously, Coach Adams felt that he didn't like what he saw and wanted to make sure that they're not turning the football over.
And that's exactly right. Coach Adams, interestingly, has been with the Woodies since 2010. He has a 60-38 record, including that 11-1 team that went to the sectional finals. Coach Mason's been with Gateway since 2014 with a 32-22 record and has salvaged the Gateway program to respectability and power.
Husser hands, it's Hall. Hall cuts inside, pushes forward, and picks up about 5.
And again, playing Gateway, again, really pursuing very well. That was, you could see Getz again charging in the backfield to make that tackle. And then Jake Schultes from his defensive position. Watch this, watch the run back here. Schultes is the one who actually runs him down. That's a very nice play by Jake Schultes. Interesting enough, he had an interesting week where earlier in the week, he and his brother were in the White House with President Trump.
How about that?
That's kind of an interesting situation.
Trump has had a busy week. You got Schultes just part of his schedule. That tells you how important he is. And the throw from Husser. Just a little bit too much mustard on that one.
Yeah, it showed a little bit, though. It was just a ride pass where he sets back up and throws the football. And the receiver was open, but you're right, a little bit too much tomato sauce on that one.
3rd down and 5. See Gateway featuring many of them wearing the pink tape and socks. This, of course, Breast Cancer Month. 3rd down and 5. Husser hands. It's Hall. Cuts back. Hall still on his feet. Enough for the first down. Stretches forward. Pickup of 7 for Hall.
And I think they were hoping right for that play that they would get enough yardage that they could at least have a short distance to go for first down. They got more, but the clock again is still moving. Here you can see it again. Watch the vision. Cuts back, puts a move on Jake Schultes, and that was enough to give him the first down. Excellent tackle there by Michael Scambia. I got the coach's father at Deptford. Oh, ball on the ground.
Husser picks it up. Broken play, and now Husser will push forward and pick up about 1.
Boy, very fortunate, Rob. Very, very fortunate to get the ball back there. It was almost like the first play of the game.
Yeah. So Husser with 4 carries and just 8 yards.
Yeah, it just sailed by me. Was able to reach down with one hand and pick it up. Laquan Sims then was able to make the tackle on that play.
Gateway's Dejon Davis got away with one there, literally tackling the Woodstown blocker. And again, inside, and maybe a face mask, but nothing called. Pickup of about 2, and now Adams and the Woodstown staff will call a timeout.
And that was our first look at Niger Brown on that little counter trap coming in back. And now this is the final timeout of the half by Woodstown. So your offense now, when he's sitting in there, he's telling them, here's what we've got. We've got short amount of time left. If we're going to throw the ball, we have to be able to get to the sidelines. If we don't throw the ball, we stay in bounds, you have to be able to call 2 plays right now so that you can hustle up to the line and either spike it or run your second play.
3rd down and 9. Husser has thrown twice tonight, connecting on his first opportunity and throwing over his intended receiver in his second. Obviously, if he throws an incomplete pass that stops the clock, although a lot of field to cover for Gateway should Woodstown put it. Batten is the kicker for Woodstown. He has 1 field goal on the season of 32 yards. They still have a ways to go to get within his range. 3rd down. And a screenplay. Hall with room. Hall still on his feet and looks very close to the first down. Saying perhaps that he's short. So that will force the clock to continue to run. 10 seconds now. And he downed the football on 4th down.
Which will turn it over to Gateway. Amazing. I think he thought it was a first down, now realized it was 4th down, and Gateway will now gain possession of the football. Wow.
Well, poor decision making there. He was able to come up with a nice screen pass with the throw to Hall, but downs it thinking they had the first down. And in fact, it was 4th down. So now with just 7 seconds left, Gateway will take possession with an 8-7 lead. And we'll see if they merely go into victory formation. They do not. Still the odd. Zagone pitches. And that's Sims on the carry. He picks up about 3, and that'll do it.
Well, the first half definitely lives up to expectations. 2 good teams that can move the football, can run the football, and I'll tell you what, this game is far from over.
Well, a pair of rushing touchdowns, but it was Gateway's 2-yard, 2-point reception by Sims, the difference in that first half. Gateway leads Woodstown 8-7, a big Group 1 battle here from Flintware Stadium. Your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. It's halftime. Stick around. We'll have second half action for you. Welcome back to Woodstown High School. About to begin this second half. It's Connor Batten to kick it away for the Woodies, and the Gators will take it at their 16-yard line. Penalty flag on the field here, and this play likely to come back a bit. Derek Parker on the return, a good return, but again, we'll see what the penalty is. It's been relatively flag-free.
Absolutely, and usually that happens when you have 2 very, very good teams that are very, very well disciplined. But Rob, here's what we look at. First drive coming up. And it looks like it's either a block in the back or a hold. Looks like a hold called against Gateway on the return, so they'll take that back 10 yards. First drive important. If Gateway can go down and score right off this drive, I think it gives them tremendous momentum in the second half. Conversely, if Woodstown could stop the Gators and then get the ball back and score, the opposite takes place. So very, very unique situation coming here where the first drives of this second half could be very, very pivotal.
Not only that, if Gateway scores and converts 2, then it's a
2-score game. Yeah, that's right.
First down and 10 for the Gators as they start, and they'll continue right where they left off. Parker up the middle, pickup of about 5.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. You know, there's another thing that New Jersey is starting to think about. Last week they used their first game with instant replay, the Williamstown-Lenape game, if I'm not. And there's also a talk about a lot of states now are going to the play clock. This year, high school went to a 40-second play clock and a 25-second, just like the pros and the colleges use. It'd be interesting if sometime they put that on the field like colleges.
Out of the eye again, inside handoff. Not a whole lot there, and things are getting a little bit more physical inside. Pick up, we'll call it 2.
Always what we see in this situation is the adjustments that have been made at halftime. Each team realized that the other team was running the ball pretty much at will against them, so I'm sure defensively they were the adjustments that were made at halftime.
3rd down, we'll call it a short 3. Zagone, quick hitter up the middle, and it's Sims. He's met, but not before picking up the 1st down.
Yeah, nice job there. Malik Parsons also coming up in there for Woodstown, number 7. Wayne Robinson. Watch them fill and just knock the ball carrier back, but it's enough for a 1st down.
Laquan Sims now up to 67 yards on the evening on 12 carries.
And he has definitely lived up to the pre-game billing.
Pitches. It's Parker. Parker with a full head of steam, and he'll pick up, we'll call it 5.
Boy, and you are right. A full head of steam is exactly right. Well defended outside, moving out from his down tackle position there was number 74, Colin Updike. He comes across, but boy, I'll tell you what, if he wasn't there, Mr. Parker was going to go a long way.
2nd down and 5. Gateway controlling the football here on this opening drive of the 2nd half. Inside of 9:40 remaining now in this 3rd quarter. The Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Woodstown and Gateway, 2 Group 1 emerging powers. Out of the shotgun, Zagone, play action, flushed out of the pocket, stays on his feet. Zagone pushes forward. They'll pick up 2 or 3.
And pretty good faking that time. They were out of the pistol formation. It was almost a play like the Woodstown runs at the time. Great job of staying at home by the Woodstown defenders. Makes for an interesting situation right now with 3rd and short. Somehow I think number 26 is going to get the ball this time.
Big defensive stop if Woodstown can pull it off, and they can't. Look at Sims run. He loses the football, and we'll see for a rolling on the field. They're going to say he was down.
Yeah, I think that was the absolutely correct call on that situation.
And he's hurt.
And that could be a major factor because he got the tough yards. Watch this. He just drives. Now watch the end of the play. He swings around. I'll tell you what, Rob, that's really close. Really, really close.
I don't know if we have an opportunity to re-rack that and maybe take a look once again. I'll be honest with you, from up here, from the naked eye, it looked like the right call.
He had been hit and he was spinning around as it comes through. I think the more concern right now is the health of Laquan Sims, because he's certainly an integral part of the offense for Gateway. Here it is again. Let's see if we can see. Just a direct handoff. He gets hit. He spins around. I think it's the right call. I really think that's the right call.
Looks like he may have hyperextended a knee.
Yeah, and if that's the case,
down on his knee in an awkward position. Sometimes that's one of those injuries that is just temporary, and let's hope for Sims' case that in fact.
Yeah, it's really interesting sometimes, especially I think, and you wouldn't well know, when you're in a Group 1 school, you don't have a plethora of
options.
Yeah, and sometimes the loss of one player, especially when he plays both ways. Well, good news is he's up.
Let's face it, you're not going to replace Laquan Sims with equal talent. I mean, he is a special player.
He's a special player.
Here you take a look at our halftime stats. Pretty much one number that sticks out is that turnover. It was after the Gateway turnover that Woodstown was able to work their way down the field and score that touchdown. Otherwise, relatively even for all intents and purposes. Woodstown had the possession of the football a little bit longer and therefore had a little bit more yardage, but otherwise relatively even first half, as evidenced by the 8-7 score.
And we'll pick up the number of the new back that's going to come in.
First down and 10, 49-yard line for the Gators. They are once again in Woodstown territory. Zagone, play action, across the middle, has Schultz. Schultz is on his feet, cut down at the 31-yard line. Fine throw by Zagone, and pickup of 18 yards.
And that's a play waiting to be happened. Gateway has relied on throwing to Schultz. Once again, nice little fake to Parker. Sets back. Schultz, who has great hands, makes that catch in traffic and takes it all the way down to the 31-yard line. Gateway has used that play in all 3 games that it's played this year, and it's made big dividends every game.
First and 10. Again, deep penetration here into Gateway territory. Still working out of the eye. It's Zagone out of the shotgun. He'll hand it off inside. Bouncing off tackles, cutting it outside, and tripped up by his own player is Parker.
And boy, he knows that exactly. He could have gone maybe the distance on that one. But definitely now the workhorse is going to be Mr. Parker, as long as we don't see number 26 back in the lineup, Laquan Sims. Watch his effort. Keeps his feet going. Here he goes. Watch the move here. And you really can't fault the wide receiver there. He was downfield blocking, doing what he needed to do.
Second down and 1. Parker now, 8 carries, 54 yards. Pitch, Parker, in the middle, Parker. And it's Husser that comes up with the tackle.
Then we're seeing Freddie Gizmundi. He's now the Laquan Sims' replacement in at fullback. He was the lead blocker on that play, as you can see, but this is all Mr. Parker. Finding the hole and lowering the shoulder and getting yardage. First down for the Gators.
First and 10 at the 16. Clock continues to move. Gateway still driving. This is the opening drive of the third quarter. Full house backfield, Zagone under center. Parker cuts it. Back inside, Parker finds a seam and exploits it.
Robert really got to see how dangerous Parker is on that time. That play was designed to either go out or in, and it's all vision by Parker, and he sees where the hole is. He took that back inside and gains great yardage on the play.
68 yards now, 10 carries.
There it is. Watch, it's going to go outside. The corner is sitting outside. He just breaks it, tucks it back inside, and lowers his shoulder and gains his yards.
Sims had been the workhorse up until the injury. He's out of the football game now, having carried 13 times. Parker has carried 10. Zagone, quick drop, throws to the corner. Up and no good. The ball is dropped.
Well, that was intended down there for Deshaun Woodall at the time. Just a quick fade pattern, and the ball was thrown perfectly where only Woodall could make the catch. It was just real close to the sidelines. Watch, it's a great throw. He's got the outside shoulder look. Really went up after that ball. Just could not come down in bounds. Great effort there by Woodall.
Stops the clock with 5:29 left, and that's the first incompleted pass from Zagone. Second and 10. Again, full house backfield. And Zagone snakes. Excuse me, it was 3rd and 2.
Yeah, trying to get that first down to give himself a fresh set of downs inside the goal line area.
So they're going to measure. They only needed 2 yards. Zagone pushed forward, a quick snap. Zagone able to get that football over the first down marker, and it's now goal to go. Ball spotted on the 5-yard line.
I think you'll see Mr. Parker carry the ball most of the time down here now.
This is a statement drive by Gateway. three backs for Zagone. Pitches, Parker. Parker cuts, pushes, and nothing there.
Yeah, the yards get tough in here. This is where you dig in and do what you need to do. A nice play there by Woodstown player number 66, Matthew Telsey, in that time. And this is where it's best back, best play, and tell your lineman, just give me some openings and we'll get in the end zone.
Of course, it was Parker that scored the first touchdown on a 16-yard run, that coming with 4:44 remaining in the first half. We are now at 4:10 in this third quarter. The pitch, stretching outside with room, bowling his way forward, but shy of the end zone. A strong run by Nasir Lingo, but still not home free.
And Darius Hudson should get a star on his helmet for that one, because he was the only thing that stopped this from being a touchdown. Watch the play here by number 6. He just continues. Oh, actually, you've got tremendous help there by Tyreek Husser, who does a great job on defense also. He was the guy that gets the star on the helmet for that one.
Lingo may have lost a yard. It's at the 3 now, third down. Look for Parker here. Quickly met in the backfield. It's Gismondi, and Husser and the rest of the Woodstown defense holds.
Boy, let me tell you, that is exactly right. That was just a straight, quick opener right over what we call the zero hole, and there was just nothing there. There was no drive. Woodstown just held its own. Boy, here comes a crucial play of the game right here.
Well, decision time here if you're the offensive coordinator for these Gators. Do you go to the air? You've been successful thus far with Zagone, but you also have a feature back in Parker who can certainly get things done.
Yeah, and a lot of times you like to roll the quarterback out or bootleg the quarterback out and give him a run-pass option right here.
I formation. Pitch, it's Parker. Parker,
pass.
They're gonna go, touchdown! The Philly special.
Yeah, how about that? Throwing back to the quarterback.
Parker to Zagone. 4-yard touchdown reception.
And
for the quarterback.
That is crucial. Just like we said before now, Gateway will go for 2. If they can score the 2-point conversion, they'll have a 2-score lead. How about that? Philly special.
Yep. This is a big play here. Gateway again going for 2. Zagone, play action pass, rolls. Has time, has space, angles.
No, I don't think he got in.
And
now they're going to call him short.
Did not make it. Shy of the end zone. So, Woodstown now trails just by 7.
And an interesting situation where all the action went to one side and right in front of that line judge that's there, and he has to make the call. So if he hits the pylon, it's good. If he hits the pylon, that is good. So it'll be interesting to see. The official said he was short at the 1. Let's watch it again. We'll see. If he hits the cone, it's good. He fakes.
He's out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're 100% correct. I think it's definitely short. I think that's the right call by the official.
He stepped out of bounds and then he put the ball over the marker. Let's take a look at this touchdown, the Philly special.
Yeah, nice. Parker goes 3 steps, looks back, nobody picks up the quarterback. Wow, wide open in the end zone, just catch the ball. He does. Touchdown Gateway.
Just like they draw it up in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
14-7 gets to kick it away for the Gators.
No, if you're Woodstown, at least it's just a 1-score game, and now you turn it over to your offense.
Low line drive, short hopped, taken at the 20. Right up the middle, Woodstown will take over at about their 32.
You know, in the earlier parts that we talked about, Woodstown has only one loss, and that's the Pensgrove, who's the number 5 team in South Jersey right now. Woodstown led in the fourth quarter in that game and lost when a kickoff was returned for a touchdown and then a pick 6 that ended the game. But Woodstown played step for step with Pensgrove in that game.
First and 10 at the 32. See just the power running of Malik Parsons.
Yeah, a little counter trap, and actually who helped really tremendously on that one was Deshaun Davis. He stayed home in his defensive end spot, and he was able to slow down the advance there by Parsons.
Parsons has been relatively quiet.
Watch number 2. He stays here. He makes contact. He doesn't make the tackle, but he's able to at least turn the play back inside where there's going to be help.
21 yards on 7 carries. Husser hands it off, dancing inside, evading tacklers, enough for the first down. Pickup of 4.
You know, Rob missed in this, and here's what we talked about Group 1 schools, but Sims was one of the best linebackers that Gateway had, along with Getz, and with him out of the lineup, it definitely can make a factor.
Absolutely. Inside of 130, this again has been a rapid quarter. This is just the first time Woodstown is touching the football in this second half. Husser keeps still on his feet, pushes forward, just about at midfield. Calling a gain of 6. His largest gain of the night.
Right. If we look at it here, Woodstown just hoping to keep moving the ball, get down and score. If they get a score, they can tie the game up with an extra point. And you can see Husser again. He's 6'4", which really, really helps him at quarterback, and that's why Coach Adams moved him into the pistol position so he could see better and do his reads.
2nd and 4. Husser hands to Hall. Stood up by his own man temporarily.
And then Getz was there to clean up all the action. On that one, he will learn that was not the best read there, as you can see. They tried to double team the defensive end. He actually did, you're right, ran right into number 54.
So just 43 yards for Hall. Jameson Taylor had himself a good opening quarter. We have not seen much of him running the football. 3rd down. Husser hands off into the secondary. And again, it's big Malik Parsons.
Wow, and if our young viewers can watch this, one of the keys to being a successful running back is keeping your legs moving. When he got through the line, he never stopped accelerating, and that's why the big play be developed. Watch it again. Watch the leg drive. Here, and just keep your legs going. Keep driving, keep driving, keep driving, keep driving. Wow, took most of the team to get him down.
We are through 3 quarters of play on your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. The Gators on top of the Wolverines, 14-7. Welcome back. First play of this fourth quarter. Short gain by Hall.
So it's early, but both teams with the using the clock. You wonder how many times Woodstown's going to get the ball in the fourth quarter if they do not score here. So it makes you think of all different situations. Do you score for the touchdown, kick the extra point, make it 14-14, or do you try to take the lead?
Parsons in motion. And just not much there. Again, running that counter. And this time, Gateway sniffed it out.
Boy, Jared Talley did an outstanding job from his nose guard position on that one. Stayed at home, stood up the center, and just waited for somebody to come back and made the play. Get to see it again. Watch him just, boom. Great job of tackling right there by Talley.
That was Darius Hudson. He has 2 carries, no yards officially, or unofficially, I should say. 3rd down for Husser and the Wolverines. Parsons slips. And his knee went down behind the line. That's a critical error there. Not much you can do. You can see the field really eaten up in that section.
And I will tell you now, this becomes a very challenging call here for Coach Adams. You've got to keep the ball or your drive going. You've got to know where the first down sticks are. You've got to know with your best back and your best play here. Somehow I think Abu Hall is going to be in the hands of this possession.
Loss of 1, 4th down and 6. Whistle. Adams calls timeout. Whether it's he didn't like what the Gateway defense had set or whether he just didn't like the way his offense was set, we understand the gravity of this play.
I think that's right. I think that's well put. The fact that Gateway could get the ball back and the way they are possessing the football, they could take most of the clock away. So you wouldn't get much time to go. He knows he's got to get a first down.
Let's take a look at their respective schedules. The win over Buna, very impressive, 35-0. Buna, always a tough team. Lindenwold and Florence, relatively easy wins. Lindenwold and Florence, not necessarily their stronger teams this year. Audubon, Glassboro, not the program that they were previously. Haddon Heights, and then it gets tough at the end there with Paulsboro and Woodbury. Of course, we talked about Woodstown, and after this, we mentioned that Pennsville, currently beating Woodbury, and then Shallock has really turned things around.
Yeah, always rivalries.
Husser rolls out of the pocket with time, on his feet, throws, has a man wide open. It's caught, touchdown! Husser, but there's a penalty on the play. Penalty flag sits at the 34-yard line.
The question will be, we'll see first if he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw the ball. The linesman coming in telling the referee.
And they're saying it may be against Gateway.
They're talking through it right now. All right, let's find out what we got. Well, the first clap there by Woodstown kind of means it's against the Gateway.
So they're saying it's a personal foul, a face mask against the Gators.
Yep, that's it. Face mask against Gateway. The decision is what they're going to do. It's a touchdown. They're going to penalize Gateway on the kickoff. So the kickoff, instead of from being for the 40-yard line, it'll be kicked off in the 45. So here we go again. Husser just with a great release, and the Woodstown receiver getting behind the secondary. Touchdown. Now the huge extra point right here. Batten just needs to relax, put it right through, and we're at 14-14.
Critical extra point. And the referee's just trying to get things set there. Well, we mentioned this was going to be a good one, and they have not disappointed.
Boy, that's for sure. And how about that? What a gutsy call on 4th and 6 with rollout with Husser. The receiver somehow got open behind the secondary of Gateway. Husser put it right on the money. Touchdown. Well, here we go.
Once again, it's Batten to attempt a point after. He has not missed a point after yet this year, and it's blocked. It is blocked, and it may be returned.
But all for naught because it does not count in high school football. But big thing. I think Tom Getz may have been the one who blocked it.
And now a penalty flag, and we'll see who this goes against.
Well, the time we see the penalty drop, it's probably after the play was over, so it would be a dead ball situation.
Remember that there's a personal foul against Gateway on this kickoff, so We'll see if it negates that or adds to it.
And it's interesting because I could take it all the way down there where they would be kicking off from the 30-yard line.
It looked like Gateway got a good push or maybe even just perfect timing in rushing this kicker. We'll have an opportunity to take a look at it on the blocked extra point. Here it is.
It's interesting because it almost looks like, it's definitely, the cardinal rule in blocking for an extra point is you always knock everybody down. You make them block it from the outside. That time a hole opened up right in the middle, and Gateway athlete was able to get right in there and block the extra point. It might have been Getz on that situation now. I think the discussion now is we already have a 15-yard penalty that Woodstown is taking for the face mask, which would move it down to the 45-yard line to kick. If there's another 15-yard penalty, then it would be moved down to the 30-yard line to kick. And then if you're Woodstown, you basically onside kick.
I don't know if we'll have an opportunity to take a look at that blocked kick one more time as the referees talk it over, but it'll be good to identify.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's watch it. It comes right on the inside.
With the left hand, as you mentioned, a good push right in the middle, and that's a cardinal sin. Yep. Just allowing penetration that easily right up the middle.
Got to step down. You got to push everything to the inside. Let them come from the outside.
All right, we'll see what the referees have determined here.
All right, here's the call. The first one should be the face mask penalty.
This is Scott Campbell, your referee. He's maximizing his TV time, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's for sure. The first one should be the face mask. Oh, we got a hold, and we got a personal foul against Woodstown. We have a sideline warning against Gateway. So that'll negate everything, and looks like we'll go back and kick from the 40-yard line.
Now, the hold is what?
10 yards.
When did the hold happen?
That's a good question.
I mean, shouldn't they, if it happened during the play?
Yeah, you would have a choice. Then you should
re-kick, correct?
Or you can turn down the penalty. Well, it's interesting for me because obviously there's no, whatever the flag was for the touchdown has been negated, and they're calling holding against Woodstown and making Woodstown kick from their own 30-yard line, which would be the 10-yard penalty. So
very confusing.
Yeah, because somehow lost in the whole deal.
If it's holding
the 15-yard
and you take the penalty, doesn't that mean that you re-kick?
Yeah, or you accept the result of what took place in the play. Well, they know more than we do, I guess.
9:56 left, 14-13. Batten will kick it away. Taken at the 20. It's Parker. Parker thrown down at the 38. Well, I think you touched upon it. One of the big keys was we think about it offensively, but defensively missing Sims.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Well, now it's pressure time on Woodstown's defense. Woodstown must force. It may not have to be a 3-and-out, but they have to definitely not allow the Gators to get a lot of yards or a lot of first downs over here. Every first down is 2 minutes worth of clock time. Woodstown's already used a timeout, so they only have 2 remaining.
And not much doing on that first down carry.
And again, if you're a Woodstown faithful, there's one thing to look at. With Sims out of the game, everybody pretty much really needs when Gateway needs a play, they're going to go to Derek Parker.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it.
He has 72 yards on the evening. Sims still eclipsing that number with 75. He carried 13 times before getting injured. Parker now on 12 carries. 2nd down and 8. We've seen that Zagone can be dangerous throwing the football. Handoff. And Parker getting a push. Parker, finally a whistle blows.
I'll tell you what, he is a fighter, and on that situation we got to see the best Gateway has in the lineup right now, Mr. Parker, go against head-to-head with Malik Parsons of Woodstown. Watch how they go through. That's Colin Updike in on the tackle, and you can see a lot of pushing and shoving, and there we go.
3rd down and 2 at the 47-yard line of the Gators. Clock continues to move, as you see, inside of 8:30. Handoff right up the gut, and good push by that offensive line of the Gators. Enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, that's for sure. And again, when you have a back that's powerful, has good leg drive like Parker, that's going to usually get you that yard. So 2 more minutes coming off the clock. Woodstown's got to hope now to stop, and the clock would be somewhere in the 6-minute mark.
Nose of the football right at midfield. 1st and 10, Gateway. They've really controlled the football. This is just their 2nd drive, but there's only been 3 in the 2nd half. Zagone hands to Parker. Parker with space. Parker angles outside. And Parker cut down after a nice pickup once again.
And again, for your offense, that's what you want. Big play on the 1st down play, which makes plays number 2 and 3 very, very easy to get the 1st down. We'll give him 6. So you need 4 yards on 2 carries to keep another 2 minutes coming off that clock. Although this one did go out of bounds, so we'll stop the clock at 7:40.
2nd and 4. Zagone throws, and it may have been tipped at the line. In fact, that's what the referee is signaling. So Zagone 0 for his last 2 throwing attempts. He's 2 for 4 on the night, and that'll bring up a very makeable 3rd down. Here it is.
No, I tell you what, here comes, if you're Woodstown, this is the big play. If you can stop them here. Now, the ball is past the 50-yard line, so Gateway may sit around and say this is going to be 4-down territory. We'll go 2 plays for 4 yards.
Pitches to Parker. Parker, he's met behind the line, breaking tackles, but not enough. He'll lose 1.
Boy, that just makes the 4th down call even more crucial. If you're really an honest situation here, you punt the football and make Woodstown go the long way, but it looks like Gateway's keeping their offense on the field.
Interesting.
Nope. Here comes the punt team. Smart move. Get it down as far as you can. If Woodstown can beat you, they're going to have to go maybe 70, 75 yards.
4th down and 5.
Yeah, interesting call there for Gateway at the end of that. They've been getting so many good yardage inside the tackle, straight ahead running. That's why it's high school football.
So Getz will punt it away, and whistles blow. Timeout being called. They're saying delay a game by Gateway, so that's 5 additional yards. 4th and 10.
And I'll tell you what, sitting back down there at about the 20-yard line is Abu Hall. And Abu Hall is a game breaker. So he can certainly return yardage, and he has some for big gains in his the 3 games Woodstown's played so far.
Hall sitting back at his 20, and now once again another penalty.
legal procedure on our false start against Gateway. 5 more.
Fred, this is why coaches are great.
Absolutely, because this is the last time you need to get this type of situation.
"25-yard line, good snap, gets high punt. Hall, he's going to let it bounce. And there's a penalty here. Very surprised to watch Hall just merely let that bounce.
Yeah, unless he didn't have a view of it, you got to catch that football, because not only does it take time off the clock, you don't get any positive yardage out of it. We'll see what the flag is. Could be a block in the back, could be a hold.
Who was that on, number 4?
Block below the waist.
Well, that will pin Woodstown deep in their own end.
Yeah, that's going to make the drive even more difficult.
You know, ironically, we had a relatively penalty-free game, and now it's crunch time, and we see error after error. Penalties on the touchdown, penalty on the 2-point conversion, and now, once again, penalties on the punts from both teams. Things are starting to fall apart.
Well,
First down and 10, back on their own 6-yard line. Well, if Woodstown can score here, they will have certainly earned it.
And that is for sure. One play at a time. False start.
As if on cue, another penalty.
Yeah, put that thing back to the 3-yard line. Now you also bring safety into the equation.
Well, that's half the distance, so it'll just be 3 yards that they mark off. But again, deeper in your own end zone. First down and 13. 6 minutes and 12 seconds. They may need all of it to drive 97 yards. Hustler. And immediately hit. It's Parsons.
Yeah, he's lucky he got out of the end zone on that situation. I think he's going to lose a couple. That ball's going to be at the 1-yard line. Well, make it to 2.
Awesome.
He is really lucky here. Watch. Really stepped up. There's Tom Getz again.
10 carries for 33 yards. They have really kept Parsons in check. Hustler hands it off. It's Taylor. Quick hitter. Taylor picks up just a couple.
And if it wasn't that time, a great defensive play by Jake Schultes, coming down from almost like a defensive tackle position, just coming down, watching what the blockers did, came down and just lowered the shoulder. Very difficult, because I don't think Woodstown can afford to go on 4th down here.
Well, Hustler has to be smart with the football here, likely going to the air. Hustler keeps.
Ball's loose.
Ball is loose.
And that's a touchdown.
And Gateway scores on the turnover. Well, I mentioned he has to be careful, and the ball quickly stripped, and that's a game changer.
That is absolutely a game changer. And interesting, if Gateway makes 2 here, it makes it a 2-score game, which can effectively be a big issue. So Woodstown trying to go with a little bit of an option to the outside, and the ball went on the ground and into the end zone, and Gateway recovering for the touchdown.
Well, as you mentioned, this is a huge play. Woodstown was going to have to score anyway, and they'll need to hold. Parker and Gismondi in the backfield. Zagone. Play action pass, has a man, thrown and misses, but we're going to have pass interference.
Yeah, definitely. They may call it holding in this situation on that type of a deal. but they were bringing Schultes back. Actually, it's a play called ends across. So he goes, fakes the run. The tight end on the right side comes all the way back to the left side, and you run your receiver the opposite way to try to make him wide open. He would have been if he had not been held by the Woodstown defender.
Schultes' third-team All-South jersey last year. You can see why he is Zagone's favorite target. So now you're more apt to see a run here as the ball halfway towards the goal line after the penalty is marked off. Full house backfield, look for Parker. Zagone gives to Parker. Parker weaves his way inside. Does he make it? Yes.
And that was all Derek Parker right there. That's exactly what the situation was. Parker knew he needed 1.5 yards to get into the end zone, and he probably got 1.75 yards. Well, watch it again. Watches the fumble. This is the touchdown. He goes to pitch the ball and it just wasn't there. It's recovered in the end zone. And I'm sure we'll have a number and a hit on this. This is the conversion. Watch Parker. He knows he needs 1.5 yards, and he makes 2 at least. Great effort there by Derek Parker. It makes it a 2-score game now with 4 minutes, 53 seconds left. So if you're Woodstown, it's not over yet, but now you got to get the ball, you got to score quickly, and then you have to onside kick and hope to get the ball back because you've already used some timeouts.
.453 left, and things have changed quickly here. You mentioned that they have excellent special teams play, and Hall is very, very special. We talked about the mistakes made there. Hall allowed the ball to bounce, and a critical penalty that really changed their fortunes. And they're just going to kick it short.
Yeah, smart move right there. Don't give them any chance to get any kind of momentum on a kickoff return. But you're right. Unfortunately, that situation when you're down 14-13, Woodstown went backwards instead of forwards on that drive.
Ball spotted at the 41-yard line to start this drive for Woodstown. Looking to avoid their second loss of the season. Gateway hoping to remain undefeated. Husser, back to pass, throws, has a man, caught, 39-yard line.
Well, that was Malik Parsons down the field, and let me tell you what, that was a well-thrown ball. He dropped back, he saw the field well, knew who he was going to throw the ball to, and delivered it. Watch it again. This is the extra point. We'll go back to live action.
Husser with 72 yards through the air now. Husser.
And that play gets stopped because I think we have an offsides or encroachment, however you want to call it, against Gateway. Here's the play again. Watch Husser. Seeing the field, drops back. And I'll tell you what, that is a well-thrown ball, and he put it right between the defender. Woodall was right there, but the ball was thrown perfectly for Parsons to make the catch.
First and 5, 4:18 left. Husser, hands, it's Taylor. Taylor into the secondary, pushing his way, bouncing off tacklers, touchdown!
Boy, just what you needed of your Woodstown.
Jason Taylor! Woodstown knocking on the door again.
Now, you see the score, it's 22-19. So the situation is you want to kick the extra point. Kick the extra point makes it 22-20. And that way you are within a field goal of winning the game. So kick the extra point, make it 22-20. 4:07 still gives you time.
Batten's kick is up, and the kick is good. I don't know if someone got a hand on that, barely squirted over, but
that's all right.
It's 22-20, and we can see how critical that two-point conversion was earlier. Taylor had quite the first half, and he was relatively quiet. They went away from him.
Yeah.
Now in the fourth quarter, they go back to Taylor and watch him get ahead of steam and just bounce off the Gateway tackler.
I will tell you, that is physical running right there. That
determination.
Oh my God, that's for sure. And Woodstown does what they needed to do. They had to score quickly. They did. The long pass that came down to Parsons and then the run by Taylor now gives them hope. So now you have to make one decision. If you onside kick here, then you give great field position to Gateway. If you kick deep to Gateway and get maybe better field position, you may never see the football again.
I'm still trying to figure out that blocked extra point. There's a hold against Woodstown. They awarded the penalty. They had to kick 10 yards deeper when Gateway had a personal foul earlier. I still don't understand that.
I don't either, but that'll be one for the discussions on Saturday morning.
It looks like Batten's going to attempt the onside kick here. Dribbler. Gateway recovers at midfield.
So they made a decision, go for the onside kick, hope to get it, and Gateway will take over on the 50-yard line. So now if you're Gateway's coach, Mason, all you want to do is protect the football and get first downs. You probably need 2 or 3 first downs and the game will be over, because I think Woodstown has one timeout remaining.
Were you surprised by the onside kick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess the only danger, though, Rob, would be if you kick
big
deep.
Return.
You may, or you may never get the ball back.
Yeah. First and 10, Zagone with 2 receivers out of the eye. Handoff, it's Parker. And he's hit at the 49, pushes forward, and the whistle blows. And Adams calls timeout.
And that may be, I'm trying to think if that's his last timeout or not. The key right now in high school, as we mentioned earlier, in high school football has gone to the 40-second play clock and the 25-second play set. So when the ball is in normal progression, it's 40 seconds. The back judge will make the final 5-second call by motioning with his hand. So you talk to your quarterback and you say, don't start the play until you see the back judge start to wave his hands. Now, since the timeout is called, the play clock is 25. It really doesn't matter at that particular time here because the clock is already stopped.
You know, it's interesting, Fred, a lot of carries today. A lot of carries, and yet no runner on either team has 100 yards.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, that is interesting.
Parker leads all rushers with 88. Taylor leads his team after those 2 big runs. He had a 17-yard run early in the game, and then, of course, that 34-yard touchdown run. He has 70 on the second down and 9 at 3:59 left here for the Gators.
Crucial play for Woodstown.
Fumbled. The ball is loose, and Zagone able to fall on it. And again, Adams calls timeout.
And that should be his last. So he now looks in a situation, and I'll tell you what, first of all, almost the incredible happens right there. Watch it, and he's pulling back, and as he's pulling back, the ball just slips out of his hands. Okay, that can happen. The good news was he realized where the ball was and recovered it, or it would have been disaster for Gateway.
It looks like the ball kind of got caught underneath the center's honey a little bit. You got to credit the Woodstown defensive line for getting a good push.
And that's a good point, too. So now, Rob, we're looking at a situation that it's yardage needed. If you run the ball, you may not be able to get the first down, but you can run time off the clock. And then you run the time off all the way on the punt, and Woodstown will get the ball back with no timeouts left.
This is where I like a screen pass.
I'll tell you what, that's a great call.
3rd down and 12. Gismondi along with Parker. Play action. Zagone flushed out of the pocket. Has a man in and out of the hands of Schultes. He stretched. I don't think that was a catchable football. I've been so impressed with Schultes tonight. And Zagone with a good throw. You got to credit him. He threw it where only his own man could get it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Watch this. It was very, very good blocking up front. He leaves the pocket. He tosses it up. Boy, that was just a great effort by Schultes, but almost an impossible ball to catch. So Woodstown gets the ball back. There's plenty of time left in the clock. You just have to remember you have no timeouts remaining.
Gets to punt it away. We mentioned about how dangerous Hall is. Long punt over Hall's head. It bounces into the end zone. Well, you got to give Getz a lot of credit. Sometimes clutch players step up.
Boy, he did
they
too.
They do step up in clutch situations.
And he has bombed two good punts at the end. One that Hall did not field, and that one which didn't give him any chance to make a return. But if you're Woodstown, here's what you want. Even though you're trailing, you've got the ball. The game is in your hands.
First and 10 at the 20. 3 minutes and 42 seconds left. Woodstown hoping to move this football 80 yards. Inside handoff, again it's Taylor. Taylor is stopped. Now the whistle blows after a short pickup, about 3.
Again, not crucial yet. You still have over 3 minutes to go. You wanted to gain positive yardage on first down, you got it. But now you have to remember, you're still behind. You need points. You need to get down to at least field goal range.
Clock continues to move. We're down to 3:15. Husser. Back to pass, throws. Across the middle, has his man. And Parsons knocked down into the secondary.
Boy, great catch by Parsons in traffic. I'll tell you what, sometimes games become classics, and this one has every bit. Watch again, a nice throw by Husser and a great catch and way to hold on to the football, Mr. Parsons.
22-yard completion, 94 on the night for Husser. 2:55 and counting. Woodstown moving the football, now at the 44. Husser, screen pass, has his man, it's Hall. Hall into the flat, Hall into the secondary, Hall across the 35 and cut down to the 33-yard line. You gotta like that call.
Boy, I tell you what, and you called that before too. You really like that kind of play. Puts the hands into your playmaker, Abu Hall. Watch again, he draws to them, he grabs the ball, he's wide open. It's what you want, and boy, he just turns on the jets and goes. Great tackle down there to save the game for Gateway, though.
Husser now with 117 yards through the air tonight. Up the middle, it's Taylor. Taylor. No, it's Husser. Great fake.
Boy, you're not kidding. It had me faked out, too. I thought sure Taylor had the ball. You are now absolutely close to field goal range. So now your situation can be is use the clock. Do what you get. You don't want Gateway to have any chance to get the ball back after you either score a field goal or a touchdown. Of course, the touchdown would be the best you could get.
First and 10 on the 20. 2 minutes left. 12 yards on that carry by Husser. Husser keeps again. Looks to throw. Husser throws. Has a man! And he's knocked out of bounds. Hall on the reception.
I'll tell you what, I've really been impressed with Mr. Husser in the remaining parts of this game. He has really kept his poise, and he has made some great throws. We have a timeout called by Gateway. Wow.
Well, this is interesting because he's calling timeout right here, despite the fact the clock was stopped.
Yes, correct. I think he just wants to settle his defense down.
So 14 yards on that pass, and Husser has been on fire through the air.
He sure has. Now, remember,
he's completed his last 5 passes. He has 131 yards now throwing.
And remember one thing, I'm sure Woodstown wants to score because if it comes down to a field goal, we've had a block extra point already, and
the last extra point eked its way over.
It barely made it through, so I think they would rather score. There's
you can't have your druthers, but you almost don't want to score on this first play.
Oh, no, because like I say, you don't want to give Gateway enough time to come back. That's for sure. But boy, this game has lived up to expectations.
Well, I mentioned at the top, it's maybe the last team with the ball. We'll see whether that's the case. There's still a lot of football to play. 1:52 left. Husser, hands off, Hall towards the end zone, touchdown! 6-yard touchdown run by Abu Hall.
Boy, what a great effort. That's just called smelling the end zone. When you get down there, you have to want to score. You have to know where the goal line is. And Abu Hall knew exactly the fact that he wanted the ball in his hands and he wanted to get into the end zone. Now, the extra point in this time is really inconsequential in here because the most it could be would be a 6-point
Well,
lead.
you should go for 2 here.
I think so, to try to at least make it a 6-point game.
Exactly. Then you could stop Gateway on the 2-point conversion. So 1:48 left here, and that is what they'll do. They'll go for 2. This Woodstown team, after that run by Taylor, really seems energized. We can't Here's Husser, and nothing doing there. They stop Taylor, so the conversion fails. But I want to get back to what I was about to say. You can't emphasize enough how much this Gateway team is missing Sims defensively.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point because he's your main man in the middle along with Getz, and it's easy to attack on the opposite side where Getz is going to be, and he's also he would get first downs for you. Here we see this again. This is the touchdown. Watch Abu Hall. He knows where the goal line is. He reaches out with the football. You can see the Woodstown people, the Woodstown bench and the Woodstown coach is happy. There's still, though, 1 minute and 48 seconds left in this game, so we're far from over. And Zagone has showed us the ability to throw the football. Schultes can catch the football. So it would be very interesting in here because Parker can definitely return kickoffs.
Yep.
So well, I don't think there's a nice crowd here on the Woodstown and Gateway side, and I don't think anybody's sitting down right now.
I know I'm not.
That's for sure. Me neither.
Well, Batten, remember, has kicked the ball out of bounds once tonight.
And that would
as
bring
you
it up to the
mentioned,
40. That's
Parker
right.
is very dangerous in returning. High kick, end over end, short, taken at the 20. Parker looks for a seam, still on his feet. Parker, and he's finally cut down. It looks like at about the 33-yard line. So Gateway with good field position. They'll have to travel 67 yards in 1:42.
And they have all their timeouts, which is a huge plus at the end of the game, especially if you're going to have to throw passes one way or the other. I go back again. If you could get Parker like on a screen or a swing pass, or he's certainly dangerous to go the distance.
One thing to keep in mind is that Zagone, solid passer, like Schultes, his preferred target. Zagone rolls to his right, looks, throws across the middle, picked off. Husser picks it off, and he's pushed out of bounds by Zagone. Well, Zagone kind of forced it there.
Yeah, he tried to make something happen to get there, and that's a learning experience, and that's a good situation. But I'll tell you what, has Tyreek Husser stepped up in this fourth quarter?
Well, remember, it was Husser that had the key fumble, and it was Taylor that kind of changed their fortunes, but Husser has made some phenomenal plays here, and here's the throw from Zagone.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we get the chance in here. Yeah, he tried to force it in where there was 2 defenders.
Yep.
And that's just not gonna work, especially when your defender is 6'4" and has good hands. I know fumbles here if you're Woodstown right here.
Bad snap. Husser still picks it up, and he slides. Timeout called by Gateway. They're asking for a flag, but he was going in to hit, and
yeah, I don't think that was a spear. They're trying to call spearing, but
there's no penalty there.
No, there's no penalty that hits there, but almost disaster on the snap.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Husser didn't just fall on the football.
Yeah, I think
credit Woodstown's offensive line allowing him to collect himself.
Well, I would almost be, if I were Woodstown now, I'd go away from the pistol and put Husser up under center and just let him get the ball, and that way you don't risk that snap, because that's the third bad snap that's happened tonight.
Second down and 5. Hall in the backfield for Husser, working again out of the pistol. It's Hall. Hall spins. Hall on his feet. And he's brought down at about the 20.
And Gateway's going to take their final timeout. Basically, here's what it is now. It's going to be third down, and it's going to be a long yard, maybe a short 2. If Woodstown gets the first down, the game is over, and they go in the victory formation and win the game. Gateway has to hope that they can stop Woodstown from getting about 1.5 yards on 2 plays. And it's going to be a very, very difficult situation.
Well, you've had quite a few heroes if you're a Woodstown. Husser with some phenomenal plays, particularly with his left arm. Taylor really the big story tonight with some big touchdown runs, and of course Hall with the go-ahead score.
And you tell your backs now, cover that ball with both hands. Drive forward, but don't fumble.
It's Hall. Hall into the secondary. Hall on his feet, cut down, and he'll have enough for the first down, and that should be the football game.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes you can almost say, do you let them score and get a chance to come down? But you would need 2 scores, and that would wrap up the game. This game is over.
And now again, Woodstown will go into victory formation.
Boy, the best, if you're an offensive team, this is the best formation you can ever run.
This game has turned around very quickly, and again, in large part due to the running of Jameson Taylor.
Absolutely. Or when it looked pretty bleak, when it was a 2-score game at 22-13. Woodstown does what it needs to do to be successful.
Should be the last snap necessary.
Yeah, that's it with the 40-second clock. No need to run the ball anymore.
You can see just how elated this Woodstown team is. Gateway came in as a favorite.
Okay.
Stick around. We'll have post-game interviews and a wrap. We've had a good one here. Woodstown victorious 26-22, your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. We'll be down on the field right after this. Welcome back to Woodstown High School. Woodstown victorious 26-22, an exciting Group 1 battle between 2 emerging powers, Woodstown and Gateway. It was Woodstown coming from behind late in the 4th quarter to capture the victory. We have a couple of the heroes with our own Fred Swartz.
Oh, thank you. I'm here with Jameson Taylor, and I'm also with Tyreek Husser, who had big roles in the 4th quarter. Tell us about that touchdown run.
Give me a heart attack. Worked my butt off to get that touchdown, and we got the win.
And you're in a situation where there's multiple backs that are really good players for Woodstown. Tell us about what you feel about your role in the games each time that you play.
It's just keeping us healthy. It just one person gets tired, we just hop back in and lift the team up.
How did it feel when you went into the end zone and got yourself back into that situation where you could win the game?
I was happy for coach and the team. I would allot it back to the team.
And you've done such a great job, and we're really proud of the effort that you gave today. Tyreek, phenomenal effort. I told him before we started the game, I said, when it was 22-13, if you'd have come up and told me that you were going to win the game and score 2 touchdowns in the last 6 minutes of the game, I'd have bet against you. What happened with you to make you had great passing that came through and running that came through for the ball?
Well, I mean, last year we were in that situation a lot. We just couldn't finish. We were young. This year, all we do is work hard and practice, and our coaches push us to do better. And in situations like this, we came out battle-tested, having played Penns Grove, scrimmage, some really good teams in the early season. So it was just stepping back to our roots and going back to camp and doing what we go to work.
And you also saw that interception that came through at the end. You made sure you got both hands on the football and got it. Do you like playing offense or defense?
I mean, I can't give you an answer to that one. I like both equally. Whichever one helps our team win the most, I'll be more than welcome.
So it's a big key win. It really puts you in good situations for the playoffs because Gateway is going to win a lot of football games, and there's a chance you may meet them again. Mm-hmm. Is there an inkling that you'd like to play Penns Grove again?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially since they were our first home game, and we came out and couldn't finish that game. We're looking to see them again soon.
Well, we thank you very much. Two outstanding players, Rob. They've really done a great job for us for Woodstown today. Thank you, men.
Well, again, Fred, this was a game that it's very conceivable that we'll see these two teams facing off once again in the playoffs. Gateway comes into this game with a tremendous amount of momentum, undefeated, and it was Woodstown that comes back with the big victory. Now our head coach Josh Adams has stepped in. John Adams, excuse me. So, Coach, obviously riding a high right now. A big come from behind win here. Maybe if you can just kind of quantify your emotions.
Oh, I'm beyond proud of these guys. To kind of have the penalty issues that we had and some issues there in the second half with some younger guys making mistakes on special teams and being able to overcome that. I said that's a sign of a good football team. When you can, your back's against the wall and you can respond. I thought the kids really, fought through adversity, and they did a really good job of looking forward and not, looking back at that last play and what happened that last play. So we did a really good job of just executing our game plan, and we work on passing every day in practice. We're not known for passing, but with Tariq Hustler back there at 6'4", who has a pretty good arm and can throw the ball, we're not scared to go throw the ball at the end of the game if we need to, and it proved to help us out tonight.
Now, Jamison Taylor had a big first half, and it seemed like you got away from him, and it wasn't until the fourth quarter when you kind of reconnected with Taylor, and, of course, he had really maybe the play of the game. What was your thinking after getting away from Taylor in the beginning of the game?
He had a heck of a first half, and in the bye week we worked on our double tight formation, and we were looking for our second tight end, and we were saying if Jamison's on the sideline and Abu's in, or Jamison's in and Abu Hall's out, we don't have our best 11 on the field. So we were looking at a way to get our best 11 on the field, and we had Jamison Taylor playing scout team tight end to simulate what number 10's like. And in practice in the bye week, we were like, wow, he's one heck of a blocker, and we can really run behind him when he's not getting the ball. So it was a way for us to get our best 11 on the field, and we utilized him blocking down on their backers and double teaming their best player, one of their best players, I think, number 10. And I think he did a fantastic job his first week ever playing there. So it was just a way to get our best 11 on the field because we're confident in both of our fullbacks, and we knew Abu Hall's a good runner too, as well as Jamison, so we just wanted to get the best 11 out there.
Hustler really showed a lot, not only in terms of with his left arm, but also his ability to be resilient. Of course, he turned the ball over deep into your own end, but you have to feel good about the leader of your football team, the guy who's going to captain him behind center to lead him on that late drive. I mean, talk about just some of the many weapons that Hustler brings and maybe some of the intangibles that people aren't aware of.
Well, when people think of Woodstown for years, since I've been coaching, they don't think we're a passing team. They know we're run first, and Hustler brings that different dynamic. And when he moved from receiver to a quarterback for us last year, we really just focused on the run game with him and getting him used to that. But this offseason, we really did a good job of working on his mechanics throwing, and he's 6'4", so it's a quarterback back there that can see over the line, see downfield, and the way that he's just embraced that role from transferring from wide receiver to a quarterback has just been phenomenal. He never lets anything get to him. He fumbled at Deptford on our 10-yard line, fumbled an exchange on our option, which happens sometimes, and we responded back in that game as well. So I'm hoping that we can come out and put the foot on the gas a little bit better in the future and not have to fight back for wins. But, I can't be, prouder of how well he has responded. And like I said, the rest of our team and him, they don't look back at that last play. They have short memory, and I think that's huge for him.
Lastly, Coach, obviously Gateway coming into this game undefeated, highly touted. What does this do for the confidence of your football team heading in towards getting a proper seed in the playoffs?
You know, with a team like Gateway coming in their last 13 games, they were 13-1 or something like that. They're a really, really good program. Coach Mason does a fantastic job with them, and I think matching up with them the last couple of years where they beat us and they beat us pretty good the last couple of years, I think it was, you know, something that was built up in our kids to compete with them and go out there and give it our all. And you know, going forward for the playoffs, I told our kids before this game, I said, I hate to look forward as a coach. I said, but if we can win this game, we kind of control our own destiny and we're in the driver's seat. I said, if we don't win this game, then, you know, down the road, we might be looking for who beat who to get us in or to get us a different seed. But now we're in the driver's seat and we just got to go 1-0 each week and focus on the next opponent and focus on playing Woodstown football.
Well, congratulations again. I know it's great. A small town like Woodstown, there's going to be a lot of parties going on here, so enjoy the rest of the evening. Good luck to you the rest of the way. So again, Fred, a fine performance here by the Woodstown Wolverines, and don't lose sight of the fact that Gateway, a fantastic football team, and we mentioned the loss of Sims really kind of changed the complexion of this entire game.
Yeah, it really did. For a Group 1 team, sometimes when you lose a player of his caliber, it hurt on both sides of the ball. It hurt him on offense, it also hurt him on defense. But, you know, if we really look back at it, this was a great high school football
fantastic game. Fantastic
oh, my God. And both teams are going to make the playoffs. They're both going to be heard from again. They may play each other again. I tell you what, I just enjoyed being here and watching the game.
No, it's a lot of fun being here as well with you, Fred. Again, a fantastic football game. We promised it was going to be a good one, and it really outlived our expectations. It outperformed, I think, even the casual fan, what they had anticipated. Both teams fought punch, counter punch, and again, it'll be fun watching these two teams as they proceed towards the postseason. Once again, your final score, it was Woodstown victorious 26-20 over Gateway. For my partner, Fred Swartz, our crew, including my director, Stan Ritter, I'm Rob Christ. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.